Alrighty. Get coordinated here. There's about a 15-second delay between here and the computer. Okay, we are live. I'm just going to wait a couple of seconds here and have some people come in, and then we'll get started. Okay, I see that people are coming in. All right. Hi there. I have Mary Johnson here with me today. She's going to be doing our jelly print, jelly plate printing demonstration today. So she's got all her tools, all her stuff with her, and she's going to take it away in just a second. If you haven't done this before, it's a lot of fun. Messy, but fun. So I think I didn't get your rags. Or paper towels okay?
I got baby wipes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let her take it away, and we will get started here. All right, Mary. All right, there's...
I'm going to go down.
Okay, yeah. We're going to see mostly Mary's hands today.
Yeah. You don't want to see me, you want to see what I'm doing.
Okay.
Okay, so basically I brought an 8x10 and a 5x7 jelly plate. You can get them on Amazon. You can use free things like rubber bands, twine, stencils, and scrapers. Basically, you lay down a coat of paint, and then you can either use the stencil to pull up a print, or you can put down some type of texture. You can use Sharpies on the jelly plates. Everything is acrylic paints and thin layers. Just remember, thin layers. So we'll get started.
Right. Want to show them this, how it comes?
Oh, yeah. Am I doing it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold it down just a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's how it comes.
Yeah.
From Amazon.
And there's other brands too. There's another brand out there.
I'm going to pick one up and show them what it's like. Sorry. Okay.
It's like a gel. So
that's what it is. Okay.
Right. So the brayers look like this and this. And Sue has put some suggestions in somewhere on her site here. Also, we use a baren. A lot of people don't know the word baren. I didn't either. It's just something that you smooth the paper with. So, okay, so let's get started. So in the handout that I wrote, you'll see that it's, I recommend a dark, a medium, and a light. So we'll get started with a light. When you put the paint on, you see how much I have on there? You want to do as little as possible. With these things, it gets kind of gunky, but it'll dry and then you can pick that off later. So you take a brayer and you bray it on, smooth it out, and then decide what you're going to do. Usually, I try and plan a little bit because it works out well when you plan. But then I brayer off. Can they see that?
No.
Maybe go up a little bit higher. Can you?
Yeah. I have a great connection here.
Oh,
okay.
All right. So I have, you can't see it, but there's a little stack of copy paper next to me, and what I do is brayer it off, the excess. So to start with, I suggest that you try just plain copy paper. So we're going to make some kind of design. Let's start with the rubber bands. That's kind of fun. You do them one layer. Don't do them on top of each other because it's harder to smooth the paper. But you want to do something kind of abstract looking. Or you can use twine or anything. I saw somebody on YouTube had raffia, and that was really cool. Burlap looks really good on it. Just throw another one down. Okay, so now you need a tissue. You can use the copy paper, but the tissue works better because it can get in these little holes. So you put it on and you smooth it out. And the idea is you get all that paint that's in the little cracks next to the rubber band, or as much as you can.
Now this is deli paper that you're using, right? Could you use like regular tissue paper? Like
it's really too thin. There's
Okay.
a tissue paper called wet strength tissue paper, and there's a link there, and that works really well. But right now this is deli paper. Okay, so I did a pretty good job. And you can lift it off, see how well you did. And if you leave some around, that's okay. Everything's good with this stuff. It's very easy to look artistic and not. You see this here? I don't want that on there. So you just take the edge and try and clean that off. Or pick it off. There. Okay, so now we have this. And now you take your, just put them over here.
So you take off the rubber bands.
Yeah, take off the rubber bands. And now you have a little drying time. We'll try and speed it up. I brought a little fan that our friend Deb Kozlerich, I always miss.
It's a tongue twister.
Yeah, she told us about this for hot flashes, but it works great for this. It's a nice cool breeze.
Little personal fan.
Yeah, a little personal fan. And the thing about hair dryers is they can get too hot, and that'll affect the paint and your plate, I've been told. So, but because it's such a thin layer, it dries really fast. Put that away. So now we have to decide what we're going to do for a new color. So because I went with Titan Buff, I think I'll go with this Raw Umber, which is a nice new color that I got. And you just put those little dots down. Try not to put too much paint on. That's the worst mistake that I make all the time is I put too much paint on. And then you're wasting it, because you're burning it all off. And see how thin that is?
That's amazing. How that covered it like that.
Yeah, just a little bit of paint. And then I don't have so much waste. Okay, so now we're going to pick it up with some copy paper. Where's the copy paper's right here. I was showing Sue this Braille paper that I have that I found is really good for brailleing off. Okay, so regular copy paper. Lay it down, smooth it out. You want to do it while the paint is wet. And then this is where the Baron comes in, because you can really press. If you're standing, it's even better, but I sit a lot while I'm doing it. Otherwise, I'm up, down. And then once you've done that, see, that's a good clean pull. And that's what we got.
That's cool.
Yeah. So on the handout, I explain what you do with this stuff. So if you wanted to do an art print, first of all, you'd probably use a little bit bigger paper and not probably copy paper. You can use rice paper, and I have some here, and we'll use that next. And then you just want to leave a border around a little bit more at the bottom. And then you can sign it and then number it and frame it, and you've got art for your wall. You get that? Okay. All right. You get the honors of putting it somewhere to dry.
All righty.
Okay. So the next one we're going to do is with a stencil. And there's little stencils all over YouTube. People who are making a business out of this now. And one of them is, her name is Elizabeth St. Hilaire. It's in the handout. And she does stencils now for joggles.com. And I sound like a commercial for her.
That's okay.
Those are my favorites. They're real abstract, fun. And this one is Klimt, which is one of my favorite artists. So I think what we'll do is put down a layer of black over this. That's what we'll do. Black over this. Okay. So when you put this down, make sure it's flush up against, no bubbles. And then a little bit of paint goes a long way. That should be perfect. Okay. Maybe not perfect. Okay. So now I want to add more paint. If you think that you don't have enough, really you want to do this fast, because if it starts to dry, you're going to pull the first layer of paint up. So I think we've got everything. I'm going to have to scrub your table when I'm done.
Not a problem.
Okay, so we don't really have any excess. A little bit maybe. And now we're going to take a piece of rice paper. So this is the rice paper, and there's a smooth side and a rough side. If you really, you got to feel it, and I've got gloves on, but I can see that this side's a smooth side, right?
I can feel the little bit of texture on the other side.
So try and line it up. Whoop. There. Rubbing it all in. Now I do the Baron. Make sure you get your sides and bottom. And you can tell right away it's gotten into the little grooves pretty well.
That looks cool already, just from being able to see through it a little bit.
Okay. So now we still have paint on there that's underneath. It's not underneath, it's around all of the, here's the finished
That's
print.
cool.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to pull this off, and you have what they call the ghost print. And those are usually the most fun. So let's pull, we'll just do a copy paper. Okay, we're going to let this dry, and then we're going to pull up with another coat of paint. Every time I use this, I think of Deb. Yeah, and because it's such a thin layer, it should be dry. You can take a little bit of something, or just go like this. It doesn't come up, so we're okay. All right, so now the color that we want to choose, I would go with the bright because of this. So maybe we'll do this wild turquoise color. It's called Bright Aqua Green by Liquitex Basics. And that might have been a little bit much. I'm getting better at gauging how much paint to go down.
This brayer sheet's gonna look cool by the time you're done with it.
And actually, I want to do this. Let me do this. Okay, so we don't want to go too long with this because it'll start to dry and then we won't be able to pick it up. So put this down. And I'm feeling with my fingers. You can register this by putting a piece of tape on the side. Maybe we'll try that later. It's in the handout just in case. If you feel, when you rub down, if you feel kind of squishy, you got too much paint on. And also, when you're rubbing with your hand, you can feel that you've got, it's kind of cool to the touch. And so you want to wait until that is not so cool, a little bit warmer. Your hands will do it, warm it up. I always make sure that I get the sides and the bottom. Try and get that little crease. Just a little bit going to be left on. That's okay. You don't want to wait too long, or when you pull the paper. It'll start to dry, and then you pull the paper.
That's cool.
It's all about the layers of paint being thin enough to pull what's underneath without pulling up the paper. That makes sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
That's cool. Oh, I like that one a lot.
So you can see that when you start getting into this, the sky's the limit. You'll start mixing up your stencils, and you can use texture plates, twine. Why don't we try the twine? Oh, instead of that, since we did rubber bands, here's the next one we'll do. I bought these on Amazon. I think Sue has the link. They're little texture scraper kind of things. And we'll start with, let's start with this color. And I don't worry about these little things. They just add character. If you leave a little bit of paint, I'm not squeezing. If you leave a little bit of paint, it's okay. There are some people who, after a while, you can have a little buildup on around the borders of kind of crusties, and there are some people who like that so much that they never clean their plate, and I can't be that person. I like to have a clean plate. Okay.
I can clean my plate.
Yeah, that's
my food plate.
Maybe that's my problem, right? Okay, so that looks pretty good.
That's a cool color too.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so when you put your brayer down, you always want to flip it over so it doesn't stick to the roll-off paper, because the roll-off papers are a lot of fun. So before I gotta stop talking and just do here, and then I'm gonna wipe that off. Wipe that off, and okay. So now we want to dry that. Before I dry it, I want to do something else. You can take found objects. I'll use the small one, and where these things aren't so lined up, where I left a little space there, is usually where I'll do this.
So those are like the tubes, that inner tubes of tape rolls and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah, this one's a toilet paper roll.
Oh, cool.
And then this one was from tape that, like from the
like
tape
packing
gun.
tape?
Yeah, packing tape. Mm-hmm. Couldn't think of the word. Okay, so we'll just do that. And then our little handy dandy.
It's cool that you have options, like the found objects,
know. The sky is the limit. You start looking around everywhere you go and say, oh,
I can use that.
I could use that. I'll show a bunch of them after we pull this print. Just part of my collection. I have a big box at home of stuff that I've set aside or people have given me. Rhonda gave me this. I brought it. This fabric mesh kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Has little dots on it. It's really cool. I know I like part of that. Take a piece of that. Oh yeah.
I snarfed a piece of it too.
Oh, see, I have the same too, but mine have paint all over them. Okay, so this feels like it's dry. All right, so now we want to do a contrasting color. One thing that I found is you can use the fluid acrylics, but it's almost like you have to use fluid acrylics with fluid acrylics rather than this, which is kind of like a midway. It's not heavy body, but it's not fluid. You want to use like with like. Otherwise, it's hard to get it off the plate. Okay.
Good to know.
So, what should we do behind that? Maybe black. Black? No.
How about that bronzy color?
Oh, good eye. This is fun. I use a lot of this. I want to make sure that's not. Okay. Here we go. And then that one, let's set aside. And I'll just use copy paper to roll off. Okay. So now, in layer, let's move the braille paper out of there and out with the copy paper
All
there.
right.
Okay. So you kind of want to move fast because it's gonna dry fast. So now,
Here.
this
You want
might
copy
not be,
paper?
this might not have a lot of contrast, but you can put layer on layer on layer too. Like the next thing that we do, if we could even use this, this pull. Hopefully it'll all come off. A little bit more. Oh, can I show off my? Sure. And I won't be able to remember the man's name, but if you look it up on Etsy, he sells these gorgeous barons that are wood. There's a notch here for your thumb. I have arthritis in my hand, so this works really well too. But I like the one from Amazon too. It has felt on the bottom, so it really smooth. This one, if you get paint on it, it kind of sticks. But he gives you a tube of tongue oil, so I try and keep up on that.
We got a question
Okay.
from Mary. She wants to know, do you have to cover the whole thing with the second color?
No, and you can do 2 colors. You can take another, like a background. Just pull some backgrounds in dark colors or whatever, and then do whatever you're going to do, and you'll have a dry sheet, and you'll put that on. The acrylic, whether it's when it's dry, it'll pick up the wet paint. So, does that answer the question? You can do, color bands. Excuse me. Color bands. So, I started to say you can make an art print out of this, but most of the time what I use is, what I use them for is tearing into strips to adhere to collage onto. You can do it on cradle board, wooden board, or you can do it on canvases. And
so now what happened here?
that was leftover paint.
Oh, okay.
And so if you didn't want that to show, if you kind of have to get that out of your head that everything has to be perfect.
Okay.
So if I was going to use this, I'd probably tear along that line so it didn't show.
I see.
Right? All right. So there's another one.
Okay.
So now let's do, what did I say I was going to do?
Show some examples of the found objects.
Oh. Okay.
Whatever.
So
you could do.
Yeah, those.
Like this.
I was going to show you these. You're right. Sorry.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Sorry. Okay, so this stuff it's what they punch sequins out of, and you can buy it. I don't know. One of the girls, I think Rhonda gave me this.
Probably.
Yeah. This is great. Like a stencil. You can use stamps. I cut these stamps on the Cricut.
Oh,
with,
okay.
foam. Not this one, but this little one. I gotta be more cognizant of where that camera is.
You're fine.
Rhonda gave us this. That Rhonda, I tell you, what a sweetheart. And then, see, mine they're actually better after they get the paint on them because they stick.
So
better.
that's like a fabric fringe or something?
It's
kind of.
It's a webbing that you
Webbing.
can buy. She must have bought it in a.
That came in a roll or something, yeah.
But you can buy it in sheets too. One of my favorites is corrugated cardboard, which is great. You just pull off one layer, like this layer, you leave one layer on. And again, it's even better when you get paint on it and it dries. Bubble wrap is a good thing to have around. And then show that other one,
This other piece of
fabric
fabric.
that I like. Yeah, I don't know if you can see the little dots. There's a texture. There's a smooth side and a textured side.
Yes, that's cool.
It's very cool. It leaves some really nice things. So we'll put these out of the way. And okay. What do you want to see, Sue?
Well, just maybe
Hard to
do some more
decide.
with stencils.
Okay. Here's another one from that Joggles website. I think we'll put down some paint first. Oh, and I'm going to explain about this. If you have a lot of paint you don't want to waste, you can put, I've taped these down to the table so that they won't move on me, because that's very frustrating when you're spraying and it goes flying. This is like the paper for rolling off, only if you're fast, you can be making 2 prints at once.
Ah.
So that's a lot of fun. So, gotta pick a color. Let's try the fluid. So I'm gonna, let's see, looking at that, I don't know if I want to use that. Maybe this. Here's a good color.
Actually, I'd like to see some of that fabric too. You know, using the fabric.
Okay. I just sprayed it. Look at.
Oh, it went flying.
You don't need a lot of this fluid stuff. It gets all over. Maybe I should. I want to steal some of these.
Yeah.
Paper towels over here.
Oh yeah, I've got a whole roll to the side of you too, so it's not real convenient, but it's there.
All right, so the fluid is real thin, so you have to kind of work fast.
Does that dry quicker then, since it's so thin?
See, it started pulling it up already.
Oh wow.
I'm going to put much more on. That's why I said, really, I don't have good results when I use both.
It's one or the other.
Yeah, it's
you
kind of one or
generally
the
stick
other.
with. Okay.
And you'll know it'll start pulling it up. That's when you know you got to put your paper down or put your stencil down. How about that? Now this one, tissue.
So these papers would be really good for scrapbooking.
Yes.
As your base page or whatever.
Here's an old print. You can just use that. This is a deli paper. So now you're going to have a more complex design on the deli paper. And when you use the deli paper, say, against a canvas with your matte acrylic medium, it's like the deli paper disappears. So that's a plus. I think we're good.
So the deli paper, you're putting the print on the deli paper and
to clean, basically to move the paint, to clean the paint off.
Okay.
But you can use the deli paper, and I do, for other designs, other.
So it's more like getting the excess off? Is that it?
Yeah. Well, to get it off around the holes.
Okay, gotcha.
So you see here where I left, and just go like that. It's all good. There's really no mistakes in this. The only mistake I would say is putting the paint on too thick, because then you won't be able to get it off the plate. You end up having to clean the plate,
Okay.
which is a pain.
You want me to put this over to the side?
Yeah.
Okay. And this one too?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your job, Sue.
That's my job.
All right, so we're going to pull this, set it over there, let this dry. Where is it? And this stuff dries real fast. So now we're going to do another layer, but we're going to do a darker. I'm thinking. Phthalo blue red shade. We'll try that. Okay. I guess I better check to see if they're fully closed before I shake them.
That's a good idea. Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah, that would be pretty with that green, if it shows up. That should be good. Okay, I'm just going to use this copy paper. You don't have to have that bearing. You can just use your hands. Right?
Yes, you can. But it's another toy.
That's right. This was my Christmas present year before last. To myself.
That's right. You have to do. That's important.
That's right.
To myself, from myself.
It's called self-care, and it's called retail therapy, and it's called Is My Money I Want to Do What I Want to Do.
That's right.
Oh, so this is kind of weird. This is not a success, I wouldn't say. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's going to need more work.
Yeah, you could put something lighter over it,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We could use this as a background.
It's pretty colors.
Yeah. But I wish it would have gone into, there's a little bit too much. It's almost like it resists on
Well,
this.
it's good to see this stuff,
Absolutely.
to know that what happens.
You have to make mistakes to learn what works and what doesn't.
Believe me, every time I do a demo, I learn something.
That's right.
That I shouldn't have done, or
Yeah.
wish I'd have done.
Okay, so I'm going to use a baby wipe and just clean this off. Because there's just a little bit of that glue on. Might as well start cleaning. And then, of course, I flipped that paint everywhere.
So cleaning with a baby wipe is
yeah,
easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to need one now.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to my favorites, which are the regular body. I like these better
than the liquids.
Yeah,
the fluids.
Yeah.
The fluids.
I just have to get used to them. I treated myself to the fluids, and I just have to get used to them. Oh, here's the paper towels.
But it's nice to have the comparison, between the ones.
Yeah, they both work. I just would use fluid with fluid.
Right. For somebody that's not used to working with these kinds of things, it's nice to know.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I've bought the wrong thing, thinking it was the right thing.
Right.
And how much money I've wasted. But, if you can find another use for them too,
right,
then it's really not wasted.
Okay, you can use craft paint if it's good. If it's not the apple barrel, because that stuff is too thin.
Mm, that's good to know.
But this deco art is my favorite. So I'm gonna start a little blob here, a little blob there. Oh, we still have. So we're mixing. we
What was
still
on the
have
brayer?
green, yeah.
Okay.
I think I set it in a. Well, that's another thing that's in the handout. If you want to mix your colors, mix them right on the plate. You can just go like this if you want a lot of blending, or you can just keep going like this if you want a little bit of modeling. Okay, so we need a new. Sorry,
That's okay. All right.
didn't mean to make that loud noise. This has to be. Okay. So now I'll show you some of these other stencils that I love. This one is nice too, but let's do one of these. Sue has a link to this one. This was one of my favorite finds on Amazon. There's I think 6 different.
Yeah, there were 6 in the package.
You always want to look for what's the right side and what's the wrong side. On this one, you could tell because there's a number on it. You want that number readable. That's how you're supposed to put them down.
What would be the difference? I think if you.
In the little cutouts, you can tell the on a stencil. You can tell which side the blade was on. Okay. So you have a better cut, a better surface.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm talking too much.
No, that's good.
But our paint is drying. I don't know if that's going to pick up now. Yeah, I talked too long. So we'll do it another way. Oh, a little bit's coming off. We could do that. We'll take off a little excess. If I put my back into it and press down, I should be able to get those little holes. Let's see. And that's a good.
Yeah, dried too much.
That's okay. So now we're going to do a layer. Ew, let's just pull it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that worked. Okay. Oh, and about the stencils. I don't clean mine. I found that it just doesn't matter. We're going to let this dry anyway.
Okay.
I don't clean the stencils. If you want to, you can put them in a tub of water and all of that acrylic will come off. But until it gets where the holes aren't open anymore, I'm not fussing with it.
Sure.
The brayer, same thing until I start seeing like gunk on there, little boochies. See, like at the edge there?
Yes.
See at the edge? Can you see that? You can pick those off at night. If you've done a lot of printing, you put it into, find a small container that'll fit your brayer that's not too deep, and you fill it with Murphy's oil soap.
Okay.
And the next day the stuff will come right off. Oh. You can do it at the faucet, but you're going to waste a lot of hot water. I try not to do that, and I try not to get it all down my drain, you know, all that acrylic. All right, let's see if this is dry. Should be. What colors, Sue?
I don't know. I haven't been giving you good colors here, so.
How about black?
Yeah, black would be good.
This would be good. No questions?
No, we just had one question. If anybody has questions, please let us know.
That just shows we're telling them all the good stuff.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. See the difference? If you bray her off a second or third time, you can get a lot more off. That thin layer is going to be easy to pick up. Okay, so this one, let's just do copy paper again. It's the right size and everything. So your paper is 8.5 by 11, and the plate is 8 by 10. So you should have a nice little border around.
And they sell this smaller size, I guess, if you wanted to make smaller pieces.
Yeah, I do.
Like
if I have
cards or postcards or something.
I've been good here today. I haven't put too much paint on. Other times, and when I first got started, I was putting, like twice as much paint. So if you brayer it off on that, while this one is drying, you can place your stencil or your found object on it and do kind of like a little assembly line. And that's a great way to test colors because some colors, especially the transparents, if you put, opposites on the color wheel, say you put yellow and violet, you're going to get a muddy brown and you're not going to be happy. So that turned out good. Oops, that was that. I don't know how I do that, but sometimes I do that. Get a crease in it. What do you think?
It's dark, but it's pretty.
Yeah.
It's a nice print.
We'll use this as a background too.
Okay.
Okay, so here's this other green. Let's do a found object one. We're just zipping right along here.
Time flies when you're having fun.
That's right. Okay. So, kind of an avocado color. I like it. So here's the
corrugated
cardboard, and I just love this. I don't do it just by itself, like I'll pull that off. You have that perfect line. And then say like this guy. And maybe over here. I was a little aggressive at that, but and then what else do we use? Oh, how about this guy?
It looks like little suction cups. I
Yeah.
wonder where that was from.
I think she said she got it at the dollar store or somewhere. It was a sink mat.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
It's nice to be able to have that kind of vision when you see something that, like, how can I use this?
Yeah.
That's I would have never thought of that.
Well, after you do this, that's what I was saying. You start looking everywhere.
Yeah.
Dollar store is a good place for it if you get a good dollar store.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna let that one dry, and then we're gonna put another color on.
Yeah, if you make journals, that would be nice to have those different designed pages throughout.
And with the canvas, you can paint part of the canvas and then put your pieces of paper on there. One of the people that I watch on YouTube that I really like, her name is Susan Clifton, and she she just she's very thorough, and you see her mistakes, and you learn from her mistakes. And she recently did a video on it. She made like a circle, and then up at the top it says, one of them said play, another canvas said pause, and she had the circle, a black circle with the computer play button,
Okay.
and then to hang in your studio. Play, remember to play and pause,
Oh, okay.
like that.
Clever.
And she's very artistic. So I'll have to look her up. She has very good color sense too. Yeah. Okay. So now just gotta picture your background color. Let's see. What if we did this or this? How about this?
Okay.
Yeah? Or no?
You think there's enough of a contrast?
Yellow.
Oh yeah.
Naples yellow hue. This is called Naples yellow hue. Right. Ooh, plenty. Maybe that's plenty for the whole thing. All right. We'll see. That's why he
Oh, I see.
turned
Yeah.
it upside
Gotcha.
down. I didn't listen to my own
I break my rules
precaution
quite often.
all the time, right? Because we're not machines. All right. I'm not getting all of that off because it's uneven.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get paint on my new apron.
Mm.
I'm gonna christen it today. Okay. Ooh. Are we doing? We're doing this. Stencils, right? Yep. Okay. Oh no, we have a layer under, so we're just gonna pull this up.
Okay.
Yeah. Forgot what I was doing there. Yesterday I was doing one here and one here, and I was having a blast, and I lost track of time, and all of a sudden it was dinner time.
It's easy to get absorbed in
Yeah,
stuff
you're
like
in the
that.
zone. I love being in the zone.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
That turned out good.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I like it.
Now you could let this one dry and then put another high contrast color over it in the same, maybe in the same family. Like maybe that.
I don't know. I like it just like that.
Okay. Okay. So I hate to even start this, but I didn't show anybody how to register.
Okay.
Basically, all you're going to do is you see where you're. I have to use a bigger piece of paper. I have to use a piece of rice paper. Okay. So that will just about cover that. We're going to tape it down so that it flips right over.
So what are you showing
like
now?
That.
I wasn't-
Registration.
Registration. Okay.
Right? So we're going to, can you reach that?
The tape?
Yeah.
And now what's the purpose of? Oh, okay.
So, you're going to do a multi-layer print and you want it to, if you wanted this to be like an art print, this would
Okay.
come in handy because then
Then you know where you're at.
you know where you're at. And then all of your holes are exactly where they're supposed to be. Which I don't usually do this, so, but it's a good thing to know. And then you can put a second sheet. Is this guy's going to be in the way? He is. So I'll just do it like this. So we'll shoot it over, but we can tape it right there. Tape that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not really sure what you're doing here.
Well, I'll show you what I'm doing. It's okay. So when you're printing, a lot of times you're going to get, most times you're going to get your main print and your ghost print. So the first layer, like mine have been coming off real great, but a lot of times they don't.
Okay.
And if you're leaving a good design on there, you could just put another piece of paper there, right? So registering is just making sure that everything lines up. Just like when they print newspaper and you see those little things or fabric. Let's do this color. I love this color.
What color is that?
Oh, sorry. It's Laurel.
Laurel? Okay.
Laurel, our deco art. That's one of my favorites. I keep saying
Yeah,
that.
that's a pretty shade.
I only brought my favorites. Uh-oh, we got a hair. Houston, we've got a hair right here. Oh, and they're so hard to get off. Ew. Get out. Oh, there's nothing worse. There. Hair.
Oh, I don't want the hair.
Okay. Let's see if we can do this. I didn't wait too long. Did we? No. Okay. We need a new sheet.
Okay.
Okay. So, quickly. Where's the one I picked up? This one. Okay. Now, we're going to have a little bit of excess there, but we're not going to worry about that. Where we didn't cover, because it's not the right size.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to get those little holes. Okay, so then we just pull that aside. And now we could do this. Try that. Where's the thing? Then you're not wasting any paint. Oh, nope. Nothing
Not
came
enough?
off.
Yeah.
Nope. That's okay. We can make this one the ghost
On
print.
that side. Okay.
Yeah. So now, obviously it's dry enough because it wouldn't come up. We can put another. We'll put another layer of paint, and then we'll pull. Okay. So let's. Oops. Not enough contrast. Yeah, it is. Oh my goodness, I put too much on. Way too much on. You finding me some new ones?
Yeah.
Good. So when I started out, I said, you know, you want to go for a thin layer. Well, I must have learned my lesson because I used to leave a lot of paint on the thing, and it's because I was using too thick of a layer. So let's do that. I didn't do that very well. It smoothed out though. And then take some of that off the edges. Okay. But we're going to leave a lot on there. I put too much paint on. Left too much paint on.
Well, that's how you learn.
It's a background.
Yeah.
We can do another bubble wrap or something on that edge. So we're going to put that on the side to dry, and then we're going to pick this up. And this time I think the for some reason Titan Buff, it just works.
Titan Buff.
It just pulls. Maybe because it's an opaque color. I don't know. It just seems to pull it all up every time. Nice layer that. Okay. So if you want to get stuff off of the plate, tissue paper is probably the best. Deli paper or tissue paper. The thinner paper. You can feel it's still real cool. This is the part that kills my hands after a while. Okay, well, some of it's going to come off. Most of it. That's cool.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So I would say that's done for me. I'm going to pull it off.
Alrighty.
Nice and graphic.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you can do it if you want more contrast. You can do a third layer. I guess it would be third, yeah. Okay.
Cool. All right. To the drying table it goes.
Okay. Now, we still have this guy. Can you feel with your fingers? Is that dry? That's dry, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's dry.
Okay, so we're going to do something a little more. We're going to use a dark on that. So before I put the paint on, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to pull this up with. I had a whole thing of tissue paper. Where is it? Where did I put it?
Tissue or the deli?
Tissue. Oh, okay. Must be under here. Oh, here. It's under all this stuff. Yeah, you gotta have a big table for this stuff,
Too
right?
much stuff.
There I was this morning, cutting these to size, and then I didn't even use them. Okay, so there's a shiny and there's a regular. For this,
That's the regular size.
yeah, that's regular. I would put the shiny down. I think I usually do this. Tissue's different from deli.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put a layer of dark ivory black.
Sure.
What's this other color? Oh, it's another black. How about? Oh, okay. I have dioxazine purple, and I think that would be an ugly color against that green, or under that green. Am I keeping you up?
I don't know. I got plenty of sleep, but I've got the yawnies today.
Yeah. Well, it's the weather. Lucky weather outside. Every time I drive here, it seems like it's raining. It's weird.
Is that telling you something, maybe?
I don't know. Okay. I don't think it is, but it just happens. Fridays,
Yeah.
they rain. Okay. Give me that guy. All right. Tissue paper. Let's do this.
Oh.
See how fine that is?
Yeah.
That's, I think, what our problem was. Oh well. Just more texture, right?
There you go.
I'm going to use this one. Put a little bit more heft. I'm kind of like tipping it a little bit to get into those grooves. This is the wet strength tissue paper,
Oh, okay.
and it's very strong.
Yeah, because normally tissue paper would just kind of disintegrate, wouldn't
Right.
it?
The regular, gift stuff, yes.
Mhm.
Oh, it's pretty.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So now, it's going to be very pretty, very lacy. Uh-oh. So now on the back of that, I would go with a white or an off-white. But first, I've got to dry it. And I think this one I'll pull it up with a background, one of our backgrounds maybe.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. Or that lighter one. The light green, that one.
Okay.
Or does that have too much on it already? Probably. Yeah, I'll just pull it up with the regular
What
paint.
about with this? The black on top of that?
Oh, you know what? We can't. We'll have to pull it up with a.
A plain?
Yeah. If I do a transparent, it's not going to show up on that because it's so dark.
Okay.
So we'll do a high contrast. This is another good one that I like, bleach sand. There's another one that's really good, buttermilk.
Oh, okay.
It's a nice off white. I don't like stark white so much. And I like the lids on these because you can squeeze out just a little bit.
Yeah, I think knowing how much paint to apply from the get-go is something that you're just going to learn over time.
Yeah. Just remember thin, thin, thin. That's what pulls it up. I'll probably have to soak those tonight. Yeah, just copy paper. So we did this at Bonnie's house the first time. And I brought way too much. I brought everything but the kitchen sink in my studio.
It was fun. That was a fun day.
Yeah, it was. It's so much fun when you have 4 or 5 people.
Mm-hmm.
Not that this isn't fun. I'm just saying. The
Right.
energy is different. And everybody's laughing. And Sue here.
The bad influence.
It's like she's a savant or something.
No.
Instantly, hers were the best. Hers, no offense to anybody else.
That was just dumb luck.
No, it wasn't. You did thin layers. Okay, this is going to be our last one. The last pull. Test it. No. Let the rest of it do it with my hand. So this has been fun, Sue.
It is. It's always fun to learn something new.
Yeah.
There's just so many different things out there, that a lot of people aren't aware
Right.
of, and you might discover something you really, really love.
Right.
My problem is that I really love just about everything.
Everything, I know. And there's just not enough room. My studio, that's all I do is organize anymore because I just keep buying art supplies.
Yep.
This is not coming out very well, but we're going to pull it.
I think it is.
All. That's all right. That's all right. You do a transparent color over that and it would be really good. Just plain. Like a yellow or a...
But I like that design.
Yellow
I think that stencil is a great stencil.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, okay, that's what we ended up with. But as I say, if you're doing a collage, you got lots of collage fodder there. So, that was fun.
Yeah. So, are there any other things that people need? We said the rice paper, the deli paper, just regular copy paper. I mean, those things are optional, but you can do, different things.
Yeah. I would say the rice paper, if I did it in order, I would say you want the copy paper, the rice paper, and the deli paper. If you find that you're really enjoying it, the next time you order that wet strength.
The wet strength, okay.
But I love all of them.
I'll put links to all that stuff, and then they can decide, what they want to get. But
And these jelly plates come in all different sizes. I've seen some really good ones. This guy, his name is on the thing here. Art Whisperer 88 is an older man who does on a 16 by 20, I think it is,
Oh,
and he
wow.
makes gorgeous art prints. And I'm sure he's selling his large frameable art.
That information will all be on the handout.
Yeah.
Now, if you could only buy one size, say if you could only
8 by
afford to
10.
get one, 8 by 10 is your choice.
Yeah, or
Okay.
9 by 12. 9 by
Okay.
12 is perfect because it works great with rice paper.
Okay.
9 by 12 probably will be the next one that I buy. I have a 12 by 12, and I use old scrapbook paper because you're covering it up anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
12 by 12 scrapbook paper, and you can get it cheap. Everybody's getting rid of theirs.
The scrapbook paper?
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lady in Dwight that's I got like 400 sheets for $20 or something like that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And where did you find it at? Just like
on Facebook
Marketplace?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Well, this
So
has been
that's another informative demo for another rabbit hole that you might want to explore. I will put the handout out in just a few minutes, and also I've got links to the Amazon products that Mary used. And I want to thank you so much for coming out.
You're welcome. And now Sue's going to clean all of it up.
I get the mess. Such is my fate, you know. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. This can always be watched on replay in the group and also on YouTube if you want. And we'll have all the resources out there. Next time, I think I'm going to be doing the demo on drilling holes through stones, flat stones. I'm not sure 100%, but I have a feeling that that's what we're going to be doing. So thanks for joining us. It was great fun, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.